Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. Now, as far as tonight's Friday Night Smackdown does go, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if this was because it was a pre-tape show. I don't know if they were just like, man, people are not going to care about this show because it's only a few hours before the pay-per-view, but it was a boring show. I really didn't care for it. Not much happened that I was like, oh my God, that was great, other than Bron Breakker. Like, Bron Breakker was the standout of tonight's show. That squash match and him running the ropes, like, oh my God. And the way he can run the ropes so fast and then just stop himself. Like, run, clothesline, and he's stopped. Like, holy crap. Bron Breakker was a standout, and he would have been a standout on any show, but he's a super standout on a not that great show. Like, I was pretty much bored with most of tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, if I'm going to be completely honest. Not the best of shows. Just going to say it. Not the best of shows. And again, I don't know if it was because it was pre-taped and they had to plan it so far in advance that they couldn't actually, I don't know. All I'm going to say is Bron Breakker looked amazing. The rest of the show was just meh. I mean, Dakota Kai got hurt. She was jumped by damage control. Yeah, freaking right. She hasn't even been cleared to compete, and she's going to work a match next week. No, she's not. So, yeah, not the best of episodes of Friday Night Smackdown. We'll get into it here in a second. Before that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either donate Twitch bits or hit that donate button down below. Don't remember, donating Twitch bits does make sure your comment, question, or concern does get read live on the air. Also remember, you can subscribe to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube and do a couple things for us over there. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos, when we go live, and post things to our community tab. Also, remember to hit that join button to become a channel member. A great way to subscribe and support the channel. And always remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by hitting that super chat button in the live chat. Donate a super chat, and we will read your question live on the air. Another great way to support the channel and keep it going. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game like Nightingale or Skull and Bones, getting an older game like Dead Island 2 or Lawnmower Simulator, use this code right here, PWU Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. You claiming that free game? Super Meat Boy Forever? Maybe you're getting Lady Gaga in Fortnite Festival mode. Maybe you're trying to get all the Ninja Turtles and Shredder in regular Fortnite and Fortnite Lego. Use this code right here, PWU Unlimited, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Also remember, Fortnite Lego Fortnite, however you want to call it, does have a new Gone Fishing update, which is pretty fun. I played a little bit of it yesterday. And so, yeah, go in there, check that out, and have a great time. We've got SmackDown to talk about. Like I said, an okay show. Not all that great, though. We'll just say that. Not all that great. So, why can't I find the start of my notes? Here we go. SmackDown opens up, showing LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan, and Tiffany Stratton all arriving to the building. Bianca Belair then made her way to the ring as they cut to a video package showcasing the women's Elimination Chamber match, telling us, hey, don't forget the show's taking place tomorrow morning. Actually, the show's taking place from right now, it's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 6-7 hours. When does the actual pre-show start? That's what I need to know. Is it 2 a.m. for the main card, or is it 1 a.m. for the pre-show, or 2 a.m. for the let me figure this out really fast, because that is a good question. They keep telling us 2 a.m., 2 a.m., 2 a.m., but the pre-show we have to watch now, because there is, 1 a.m. Pacific. because the pre-show, there is a title match on the pre-show. Now, I doubt the Kabuki Warriors lose to Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, but the match is on the pre-show, so you're going to want to watch it, most likely. So 1 a.m., the pre-show does begin. So we get the first match of the night. It's Tiffany Stratton taking on Liv Morgan. Stratton attempted to gain the early momentum, but failed and tried to head to the back. She's like, I'm done with this. It's Tiffy time. I need to get out of here. And Morgan caught up with her. Belair watched on and next to the commentary desk. Not on commentary, just sitting next to it. Sitting next to it. They got enough headsets. Well, I don't know why she wasn't on commentary. We're back in the ring. And it was some back and forth action. After Morgan landed a crucifix bomb for a 2. Stratton rolled to the outside of the ring as we headed to a commercial break. Back from a commercial, Stratton had Morgan grounded, trapped in a chin lock, as a concerned Belair watched on. After Morgan made her way back to her feet, Stratton jaw-jacked her, allowing Morgan to fire up and make a comeback. Morgan nailed the code breaker off the second turnbuckle, but Stratton remained in control and she wouldn't back down. Stratton attempted to nail the prettiest moonsault ever, the PME, but Morgan moved and Stratton rolled through it. Morgan followed this up with a powerbomb from the second turnbuckle, but caught only a little bit of it and got a 2. Both women were now on the outside, and Stratton tossed Morgan back into the ring. She slapped Belair out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell? Like, what, huh? And then she headed back into the ring. Morgan was able to get the pin attempt on Stratton back inside the ring, but Belair had the referee distracted at this point. Stratton then seized the opportunity and pushed Morgan into Belair, knocking her off the apron. Stratton rolled up Morgan for the 1-2-3 as a distraught Belair could do nothing but watch Stratton celebrate her victory. Backstage, we go to Kayla Braxton. She's with Drew McIntyre. McIntyre stated that he's going to win tomorrow and then save WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley would then interrupt and reminded McIntyre that, well, we lost to me at WrestleMania 37. What makes you think you're going to be walking away a winner? Ha ha ha. He laughed. Then get a cool video package with Ashanti the Adonis and Cedric Alexander. I saw some people saying, new team introduced. First time we've seen these. No, it's not. We saw these for the first time 2 weeks ago. Granted, not on Smackdown. But, so 2 weeks ago, we got a video on social media that showed us that Ashanti the Adonis and Cedric Alexander are going to be a new tag team. Apparently, the video package was supposed to air on SmackDown. It got cut for time, and we go from there. My ears just popped, and I don't know why. That's weird. Everything sounds weird now. Anyways, let's move forward. So we get this video package. Shanti the Adonis and Cedric Alexander collaborating on their new gear as a tag team. Alexander tried on different outfits for Adonis. I'm like, did we see this in NXT? With Thea Hale and, oh, I can picture her. Why can't I think of her name? JC Jane. Kind of similar-ish in a way. Backstage, Roman Reigns. I didn't think he was going to be on the show, even though he was there. And yeah, there was no word that from the spoilers that Roman was on the show. And we did get some backstage stuff that I guess the live crowd didn't see. We go backstage. Roman's with Jimmy and his solo. Jimmy was celebrating what happened this past Monday on Raw. So the plans for Raw. Here's my thing. Here's my question. There was that rumor from WrestleVotes. There was that rumor from WrestleVotes that at one point during Raw, Jay was going to win the title. Now, we learn here, as of last Friday, it's not the case. Because last Friday when they filmed tonight's SmackDown, Jimmy is over here boasting about freaking screwing Jay. So how could there have been a rundown sheet that said that Jay was going to win at one point for last week's Raw, for this past Monday's Raw? So that kind of, WrestleVotes, you're usually right. You got this one wrong this time. Again, they're not going to film something last week with Jimmy going, you see what I did to Jay? You see, yeah, I screwed him. This, nah, he didn't win, you know? And it's like, okay, so what's the Jay news on the, oh, he could have, should have, was almost going to win the belt? I guess not. Anyways, Roman's like, who called the play to send you to Raw? And Jimmy's like, well, it was Paul. It was Paul Heyman. And Roman goes, oh. And you're so quick to throw Paul Heyman under the bus, aren't you? Well, actually, it was me. I executed that. I called that play. And Jimmy goes, and I executed it perfectly. Touchdown. Paul Heyman then enters the room, and he goes up to Roman. And he's like, Tribal Chief, Grayson Waller has arrived at the building. Then move forward to Bron freaking Breaker. Screw Seth freaking Rollins. We got Bron freaking Breaker. Oh my God, was this great. Bron Breaker makes his official SmackDown debut. No NXT Tag Team title with him, although he had it on the show with him last time. And boy, was this your typical old school WWF squash. We're going to get this guy over big. Kind of like in 2016, what they were doing with Nia and Braun Strowman, when they were giving them the prototypical 2-minute, 1-minute squash, bing, bang, boom style match. To be like, these are monsters. These are powerhouses. They're going to beat your ass. And that's what this was. He didn't do much, but he didn't have to do much. Took out Dante Chin. He ran the ropes. Like I said earlier, wing, 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 wing. Clothesline. Just stops himself. Goes in the corner. Spear. Perfect. Just football tackle spear. And picks up the victory on Dante Chen. Again, Bron Breakker is so good. He's going to do wonders on the main roster. I can't wait to see where they actually go with him storyline-wise after they tell us, hey, this guy's a beast. This guy's a monster. We don't need Brock Lesnar no more. We got Bron Breakker. So, moving forward, Kayla Braxton is with Judgment Day. Braxton asked about the New Catch Republic's chances of winning the tag titles at Elimination Chamber, and Finn Balor laughed at the question. Damian Priest sent Dominic and JD to the ring for the upcoming match. Now, here's my question to you guys. I actually got to ask this because I was feeling this throughout the show. They keep saying, or they never said that I heard the city they're in. So are we supposed to think that this SmackDown is from Australia? Because they're showing us stuff that happened with the superstars in Australia. We know Randy Orton was there. We know Drew McIntyre was there. We know Logan Paul and Kevin Owens were there in Australia. We saw them yesterday on the press conference. Yet they're on SmackDown tonight. And so I got this vibe of like, oh, this show doesn't matter at all. It's a pre-tape show with no implications on anything. Yeah, cool. They're building up, trying to build interest for the show tomorrow, but we're not getting anything new announced. We're not getting any new developments that are going to really sort of impact the Elimination Chamber show. And because of that, and because of knowing they're all in Australia, watching that press conference yesterday, and then seeing them have this show tonight, the show had a weird vibe to it for me. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I knew it was pre-taped, and it's like, I already know the spoilers and the results, or was it because it's pre-taped, and we know that, they're trying to play this off as new. Oh, tomorrow morning, tomorrow is Elimination Chamber, and they're here live tonight. But we know that's not the case. And so it's like, oh, you just keep lying to us? You're just going to keep lying to us to make us think this is a live show? So, I don't know. I got a weird vibe from it that maybe that's why I was bored with the show, because I just didn't care. Because it's a pre-tape show. Usually pre-tape shows don't really feel like that to me. But this one, for some reason, felt different. And it felt different in a way where I just didn't care. I know I've said that a couple times now, but it's the truth. So yeah, Damian Priest sent Dominic and JD to go to their match. Backstage, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro of the LWO were just talking strategy when they're interrupted by Electra Lopez. Now, Electra Lopez usually a really good promo. Maybe not really good, but a pretty dang good promo. She felt way too overscripted tonight. She felt like she was reciting lines in a way where it's like, I know this line. I know what my next line's supposed to be. Got it. Next line. Got it. Next line. Like she was, maybe not nervous is the right word, but she was focused on making sure that I was given a script and I'm going to stick to that script and I'm going to go word for word on it. Because her delivery was not the normal Electra Lopez delivery. I've always said Electra Lopez, not the best wrestler. She's passable. She can get by. But where she shines is her character work and her mic skills 98% of the time. Like we've seen before where she's like hit or miss on the mic a couple of times. Usually she's really good, But tonight, it was one of those 2% where she was hit or miss. And I don't know, again, if it was nerves of her being new to the main roster, not wanting to mess anything up. And she just felt like, I know my lines. I'm not going to deviate, and I'm just going to say them and make sure I don't mess up a word. That's how it came off. Give me 1 second to put this guy in timeout on Twitch. So she distracts them. She says, remember where you came from. Remember who you've now been disloyal to. And then they get attacked by Humberto and Berto. Or no, Angel and Berto. Remember, he's not Humberto anymore. He's just Berto. Angel and Berto. Santos then comes up and was like, hey, this is a warning. You guys are not loyal to me. He says a couple things in Spanish. He said, now you're going to pay for it. You turned on me. You left me. And I found other people that are going to be loyal. So then we had Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, New Cash Republic, against the Judgment Days, Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. Again, just a match. Nothing special at all. It was just like, and I can't even say like the crowd pulled me out of the show. It wasn't even that. Because you would think it was 3.5 hours into a long show and stuff, and it's like, crowd's probably dead, and that's why I didn't feel good either. Crowd felt all right. It was just, there was a lot of, what does this matter? What does this matter? I know we're building hype for the pay-per-view, but because we know it's pre-tape, because we know the results, because we know that even though they're trying to tell us that we're here live and da-da-da-da-da, we know we're not. And so don't lie to us. So I don't know. I kept getting this feeling of, why do I even care about this show tonight? All I want to do is watch the pay-per-view in 5 hours. And also, speaking of pay-per-view, before you watch Elimination Chamber, if you're going to stay awake and not go to bed, you might as well watch the New Japan show too, because it is the final New Japan show with Kazuchika Okada as a contracted New Japan wrestler. Also, the main event, we'll see Tetsuya Naito defend the IWGP World Championship against Sonata. And I loved Tetsuya Naito earlier this week. He did an interview and was like, my job right now, my goal right now is to make people forget about Okada and Will Ospreay and that they've left. It's to make them still want to watch our product, even though they're gone, and be like, oh yeah, they're not needed. So, see how it goes. Also, if you didn't watch last night's New Japan show, goddamn Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, won a championship. Oh, and the match before that, Matt Riddle beat Tanahashi for a championship. Wild. Crazy. Great New Japan show, though. Great New Japan show last night. Also, Show defeated El Desperado, become the new junior heavyweight champion. So 3 title changes on the show. Great IWGP women's title match. Mayu Iwatani just beating people's asses. And then, of course, we got the never open weight title match with goddamn House of Torture. And it was a House of Torture match. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole other show for a whole nother time. Go watch New Japan before Elimination Chamber later. But as far as this tag match does go, Bate and McDonough began the match, and both men attempted to gain momentum using speed and their technical skills, but it was Bate's power that proved too much for McDonough. A few moments later, Bate was in trouble after Dunne was tagged in. Mysterio was being turned into a pretzel. I wrote that weird. After Bate was tagged back in, he got a little too fancy in the corner and soon found himself on the outside of the ring thanks to McDonough. Dunne soon joined him outside, as well as Judgment Day celebrating their antics as we go to commercial break. Come back for the break, and Mysterio was in control of Tyler Bate. Mysterio attempted to go for the 3 Amigos, and on the final Amigo, Bate overpowered him. Before tagging in Dunne. Bate and Dunne then... Oh, okay. I know what I wrote here. I wrote this weird again. Bate and Dunne would then go on a tear, knocking McDonough down and out. Bate then followed this up with an airplane spin before NCR nailed multiple double team maneuvers to Mysterio. He couldn't manage to keep him down though, as he kicked out at 2. McDonough was able to make the save. Mysterio then follows up the 619 debate, though to Dunn, and Bate interfered and knocked Dominic to the ground with a massive punch. New Catch Republic then nailed McDonough with a huge Tiger Driver 97 to save the victory in their favor. And there we go. Picking up the win, New Catch Republic. After the match, Finn Balor and Damian Priest would run down. New Catch Republic would bail, and then they would take out Dom and JD on the ramp. Backstage with the U.S. champion Logan Paul. He's with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. As they were complimenting each other, they were interrupted by Kevin Owens. Owens made fun of all of them for requesting that the brass knucks be brought to Elimination Chamber because he wants to use them again. Paul Heyman then appeared and was like, Mr. Waller, Roman Reigns wants to speak with you. Can you come with me now? And they're like, oh, yeah, you got to go. So, all of a sudden, this is random. All of a sudden, we see a trainer and Nick Aldis helping a hurt Dakota Kai to the trainer's room. And Wade Barrett's like, oh, what's going on here? We didn't see anything happen, and it looks like Dakota Kai may have been hurt. Hopefully we find out more later. So we go to the ring for another tag team match. It's Authors of Pain taking on the Street Profits. Montez Ford and Occam began the match, and Ford attempted to use his speed as an advantage, but Occam was just way too powerful, and Ford soon found himself looking concerned. Ford tagged in Angelo Dawkins, and Dawkins found himself on the same end of a beating, but would manage to find an opening as the AOP regrouped on the outside. Dawkins landed a swanton over the top rope as we head to a commercial break. Back from that break, Ford was being dominated by the power and size of AOP. After enduring all that punishment, after enduring all that punishment from AOP for several minutes, Ford was able to finally sidestep an attack by Razor and tag Dawkins, who got the hot tag. Both teams then eventually started going back and forth until the Profits were able to land a top rope blockbuster, but couldn't manage to keep them down for more than two. Scarlett would then try to get involved, and Lashley protested. Cross then intercepted and ended up nailing Lashley's arm with a steel chair against the ring post. Hopefully this doesn't play into anything tomorrow. I don't know. So meanwhile, back in the ring, Razor was finally able to finish off Ford, who got a little distracted here. And yeah, picked up the victory. Commentary then questioned how effective Lashley's actually going to be with a potentially hurt arm inside the Elimination Chamber. Let's go backstage. Dakota Kai is being tended to by the medical doctor, whatever you want to call him, the medic, and Nick Aldis. Bailey walks in, and they're like, we'll give you some time. Kai was like, damage control. They jumped me. They jumped me in the locker room. And Bailey's like, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. You chose me, and now they're coming after you. Bailey's like, I'm going to take care of this. This shouldn't have happened. And they're going to pay. And I'm like, well, we never saw the attack. Dakota's, selling the leg, but we've never heard that Dakota's been cleared to return. And then later they announced Dakota's going to work a tag match next week with Bailey against the Kabuki Warriors. Yeah, this is a swerve. Bailey getting her ass beat. Backstage, Roman's with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa before Paul Heyman walks in and goes, my tribal chief, meet Grayson Waller. Reigns told Jimmy to move over and told Grayson to sit down. Reigns said, there's something I need to talk to you about. I need to tell you something, but it's for your ears only. The camera right in Roman's face. Right in Roman's face. And then it cuts. And we don't know what he told Grayson Waller. Backstage, Bobby Lashley's being tended to in the trainer's room, the medical facility, doctor, whatever you want to call him. Got an arm all taped up. Drew McIntyre just comes in, looks at him. He's like, pray for you for tomorrow or something like that. I didn't quite catch what he said, but he said something along the lines of like, I hope you're good for tomorrow, or pray for you for tomorrow, or something like that. Something like that. So, yeah. So we got a injury angle for Bobby Lashley, or at least not injury angle per se, because he did get involved in the brawl at the end of the show, but more of a Bobby's going into this at not 100%. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, he took on LA Knight in tonight's main event contest. Right as the match was about to start, we get the music of Logan Paul. I don't know why I was about to say LA Knight. I stopped myself, though. So Logan Paul comes out and joins commentary for this match. After the bell rang, both men were relentless in trying to capitalize early on to pick up the quick victory. But as Knight seemed to be too cocky, McIntyre nailed him with a glass cow kiss to gain momentum before sending the action to the outside. As McIntyre was laying on a beating on the outside, Knight, Kevin Owens would arrive with a steel chair and headed to commentary. Corey Graves asked the question of what could go wrong here, and then we go to a commercial break. We're back from that break, and Kevin Owens is now on commentary. Basically, Corey's like, yeah, we got plenty of headsets. You're good. Just take this one. McIntyre was laying down the beating to LA Knight, and Paul and Owens were jaw-jacking on commentary. Wade Barrett attempted to make things a bit more professional, but they wouldn't listen. McIntyre attempted to continue the assault on Knight. He missed a move in the corner, and Knight was now on the comeback and managed to land his trademark superplex, but could only manage it two. McIntyre followed up with his Future Shock DDT, but after failing to hit the Claymore, actually spilled to the outside. Knight and McIntyre then battled on the outside. Owens began getting more and more hostile. As McIntyre went to get back in the ring, Owens just attacked him. What? This is weird. I don't know why Owens just attacks Drew. This is not indicative of Kevin Owens. This is very heel move. Babyface attacking the heel to screw the heel. And then they call it a no contest? No, that's a DQ. Drew McIntyre wins. I didn't get this finish at all. Shortly after, when Paul gets involved, Bobby Lashley then runs down and gets involved. After each man attempts to establish dominance, McIntyre laid out Lashley, and his music began to play, where then all of a sudden, boom, here comes Randy Orton, RKO, out of nowhere. And we hear voices in our head. Randy Orton is the last thing we see as the show goes off the air. But yeah, an okay show. Not a great show or anything, but a decent show going into the pay-per-view. I would say it didn't take my interest away, but it didn't gain any interest in this at all either. I mean, I will say, there's intrigue now. What's going to go on with Bobby Lashley and his messed up arm? There is that. There is that little intrigue. But with that, let's get the Twitch poll going real fast. What did you think of Smackdown? I liked it. Right. I didn't like it. Go vote if you're watching on Twitch as we go and refresh all the other polls. We've got boom, 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 boom. So as far as the Twitter poll does go, 90% liked the show. Hot damn. 10%, that was just all right. Nobody disliked it. All right. Good on them. As far as the Threads poll does go, a little bit different here. 57% thought it was just all right. 29% liked the show, and 14% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll. Community poll never went. I know I did one, but the community poll never posted for some reason. Let me refresh this again. Hold the phone. I know I posted one. Why didn't it go? It never posted. That's weird. So let's look at the YouTube live poll instead. 75% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. And as far as the Twitch poll does go, everybody that voted liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Now, less than 12 hours, we're right back here live talking Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber goes live on the air at 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific on Peacock with the Elimination Chamber. And we're going to do a live stream right after, breaking down, talking the show, and I'm going to take your calls, 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. We'll take your calls as well as we talk Elimination Chamber. As soon as that show ends. So I ain't going to bed. We ain't going to be like some of these people that are like, oh, we're going to do it in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll do it a couple hours after the show. We're going to do a little while after the show. Nope. If there's no press conference, because they haven't said yet, then we'll go live within like 10, 15, 20 minutes. If there is a press conference, then maybe like 30 minutes. So we'll let you guys know exactly when the review is going live. But then again, if you do miss it, you can watch it back on YouTube, or you can listen to it on podcast services all around the globe on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. So with that, guys, we'll see you back here in a little while after Elimination Chamber.